welcome to Up South, the one stop where you get all the news updates from the south of India. I'm Rohini Swami. We begin this bulletin with the story of an engineer who allegedly committed suicide in Tamil Nadu due to political pressure. Former Tamil Nadu Minister S. Krishnamoorthy is said to have stonewalled all questions during his interrogation by the CID. The minister insisted he was innocent and was being tried by the media. According to sources, Agriculture Department Chief Engineer M. Senthil Kumar admitted during his interrogation that he had put pressure on Muthukumaraswamy to collect money from 7 driver recruits for the minister. When the engineer resisted, he was threatened with dire consequences like departmental action. The minister apparently never talked to Muthukumaraswamy directly. Amid a major political row, former agricultural minister has now been sent to 15 days judicial custody. Both former minister and the chief engineer were accused of pressurizing Muthukumaraswamy to give bribes to the minister on every appointment made in the agricultural department. It was this pressure from the minister and his staff that allegedly drove engineer Muthukumaraswamy to suicide. The opposition and the families have been demanding a CBI probe in this case. Now joining me live on this bulletin is TK's Ilangovan, the DMK spokesperson. Sir, my first question to you is, we saw how the accused was being taken in a police SUV to the magistrate's house. So do you feel that that Krishnamoorthy is being treated with kid gloves and that he's being given VVIP treatment?
Definitely, that is what we fear. See, this CBCID will treat him as their bosses, as their boss, because his party is in power. And in most of the cases where charges against ministers or AIDMK ruling party MLAs were made, there was no progress in the CBCID case. Particularly with this Mauliwakam building collapse case, we had even accused that some of the ministers took part in the puja ceremony when the building was started. But there was nothing about them when the CBCID's probe started. It was about, even in another case, where an ex-minister, presently is minister from Tiruchi, charges were made, no action was taken. So they will do like that only.
Sir, if you can hold that thought for a second, we're also joined by C.R. Saraswati, the AIDA's spokesperson. If I can come to you and ask you, do you think that, is there a credibility crisis in the AIDMK as such, because Mr. Krishnamoorthy is also an AIDMK strongman. So do you feel that the AIDMK could come under the scanner because he was also a former minister?
No, not at all. Why should AIDMK get credible crisis? Because our Amma has taken the necessary action. You know about our Amma, she's a people's chief minister. If anything happens in ADMK, anybody does even a small mistake, if it comes to her knowledge, then next moment she'll take the action. She won't hide it, she doesn't want to save them, she will punish them. She will say, you had to work for the people, you are a public people, you are working for the public. He can't do a mistake. Once it came to know, she has taken the action, they have arrested him yesterday. It cannot have any problem with the party. Nothing to do with the party.
But if I could bring Mr. Ilangovan into this for now, then why are you insisting on a CBI probe when the CID is already investigating, sir?
We don't have faith in the CBCID probe. We want a CBI probe because, see, we hear news that the accused was not cooperating with the CBCID, he is not answering to the questions. In fact, he himself had stated that whatever he had done, Amma knows about it. Which means even the former Chief Minister Jayalalitha also knows about what Krishnamoorthy was doing. Then how the CBCID will bring out the truth? So we want a CBI probe.
Well, Mr. Ilangovan saying he does not trust the system, especially the state system. But if I can come to you, Mr. Saraswati, if I can ask you, why did the Tamil Nadu CBCID take so much time, almost a month, to start investigations and even interrogation of the minister?
One thing I'm telling you, only with the press news and channels news, A police cannot take an action immediately to a man who is sitting as a minister, because he is by public elected him. He is holding a very big post in government. So if anything happens, they have to inquire it. It's not a common thing you go and arrest suddenly. It's not a robbery or anything like that. Go and arrest him and put him. No, this is the thing happened. They say they have to inquiry. They made the inquiry. Then CBCID also went in. They gathered all the news, and finally it came to, I think it must have come to Amma's knowledge. Whatever is, Amma will say only one thing: if anything went wrong, do it immediately. That's why they arrested him yesterday. That's it.
Well, if I can also ask you one more question, with the elections just round the corner, do you think that these allegations will defame the AIADMK party as an image, even with the fact that Ms. Jayalalitha is not in power?
From yesterday night and today morning, even I am seeing the news is the Congress and DMK is asking for CBI. Last DMK government period, you know about 2G scan. One Mr. Sadiq Basha, he was very close with Raja. One fine day he suicided himself. What every paper, what it came, because of Raja's pressure, because he knows everything about 2G scan. He knows all the secrets. One fine day he suicided himself. Do you think that time Congress and DMK asked for a CBI? They said it's a suicide. That's all. So today, being an opposition party, they want to do something against the ruling party. See, CBCID has done the job. They have done the job. They have inquired it and they have arrested it also. If they are not doing anything, if Amma says don't do anything, if Amma wants to hide it or save him, then these people can ask. But everything is going on the right path. Why should they ask? Because they want to say something against the ruling party, they are saying, that's all.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. T.K. Silangon as well as C.R. Saraswati. But these allegations and counter-allegations will continue, and this political face-off will be interesting with the elections in Tamil Nadu just round the corner. But in this particular case, we also have certain exclusive details that has been brought together by my colleague Shrisha Reddy. Now Shrisha joins me on the phone line for more details. Shrisha, if I can ask you, you have accessed some very exclusive details, call details that have come. Can you give us some more details of what exactly are these call details and what transpired, and will this also be a part of the investigation?
Well, of course, yes, Rohini. As far as the investigation process is concerned, the call records that they have taken into consideration is that Muthukumaraswamy, the calls he made to people and, the minister's PAs who had actually made calls to Muthukumaraswamy. And on the day he committed suicide, or 20th of February, there were 5 calls that are made, because remember, he allegedly committed suicide at 11:50 a.m. on 20th of February. So before that, he had made at least like 5 calls. And the police have looked into all these 5 call details, and we did speak to a couple of them on the list that we had accessed. In that also included one of Minister's PA and a retired, public assistant, personal assistant to Agri Krishnamoorthy. So yes, and one also can look into details that these 2 people were already suspended from the agriculture ministry because of not functioning in the way that the government wanted them to. They were reinstated quite recently. So, and then when this comes very close to it, now police are also trying to investigate and interrogate these personal assistant who is retired and one who is in the service. So yes, this call records are very crucial evidence for the CBCID at this point in time to get more details. However, Agri Krishnamoorthy is stonewall. He is not willing to say anything, but because he has been maintaining that he did not speak to Muthukumaraswamy directly. But however, Sendil, during the interrogation, the engineer who has been sent to the judicial custody, has agreed that he has been talking to Muthukumaraswamy before he allegedly committed suicide. Rohini?
Well, very interesting details you have, Shrisha. Thank you so much for joining us on this bulletin. Now moving on to our next story, which is emerging out of Bengaluru. The Karnataka government has now to face another embarrassment, where the CBI had sent back the files, especially of the notification that the Karnataka government had issued regarding the probe in the DK Ravi case. And now what is happening is that the CBI had said that the 3-month period that the Karnataka government notification had specified, that is not acceptable. In a few hours from then, the Karnataka government immediately issued a fresh notification. Earlier, the Central Bureau of Investigation had declined to take up the DK Ravi case, rejecting the order of the state government, and then the Karnataka government had said that they will issue a fresh notification, where the Karnataka Chief Minister also came on record saying that that would be done, and that was done in a few hours from then. Although the investigations that were conducted by the state-run CID had almost concluded, and which had also said that the death was due to suicide, there was enough pressure from the opposition and from the family of DK Ravi to hand it over to the CBI because they suspected that there was foul play. Our next story that we'll be discussing is on India's efforts that have been stepped up to bring back Mali Mastan Babu's body back to India. The celebrated mountaineer was found dead in his tent in the Andes on Friday. He was 40. Efforts to bring back his body to India could not succeed due to adverse climatic conditions. The External Affairs Ministry has already spoken to the Indian missions in Argentina and Chile. The Parliamentary Affairs Minister Venkaiah Naidu has spoken to the External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. The centre will bear all expenses for retrieving the body of mountaineer Mastan Babu. The government has attributed renewed urgency to bring back the body after Mali Mastan Babu's mother spoke to Venkaiah Naidu. Now joining us live on this bulletin is my colleague Maha Siddiqui. If I can ask you this question, Maha, what efforts are being made by India to bring back Mali Mastan's body?
Well, India has stepped up efforts to retrieve the body of mountaineer Mastan Babu. This after the mother of Mastan Babu spoke with Venkaiah Naidu this morning and expressed desire that she wants this retrieval to be done as soon as possible. The weather conditions have been such on the Andes that a retrieval of the body has not been possible so far, although it was traced on Saturday. In fact, what we learn now is that the Indian government will bear the entire cost of retrieving the body. They have two options at the moment before them. One is that an Augusta Westland helicopter lands there and retrieves the body of Mastan Babu from the Chilean side of the Andes. The other option is that 11 expert mountaineers go up and retrieve the body.
Well, Maha, you've just been saying that that Mali Mastan's mother has been in touch with Venkaiah Naidu, and she had also said at one point of time that she'd like to see the body of her son. But has the government been in touch with the family and talked to them that they would be able to retrieve the body back at the earliest?
Yes, in fact, the Indian government has been in constant touch. The central government rather has been in constant touch with the family. Mastan Babu's mother had called up Union Minister Venkaiah Naidu this morning and expressed desire that the central government intervenes in this matter. So Venkaiah Naidu in turn spoke with External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj. There have been 2 rounds of discussions, after which Sushma Swaraj spoke and directed the missions of India in Argentina and Chile to step up efforts to retrieve the body of Mastan Babu, and also told them that the entire cost will be borne by the central government.
Well, thank you so much, Ma, and hope you keep tracking this story. Moving on to our next story, we move to Nalgonda. Now, sleuths from Odisha, Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu have come down to the encounter site in Nalgonda to discuss with the local cops the sequence of events that took place, which ensued due to the which finally there was an encounter that took place where 2 semi-terrorists were shot dead. To know more about this, we are joined by T.S. Sudhir from Nalgonda itself. If I can ask you the question, to Sudhir, at this point of time, what are the investigations that are being conducted by the Telangana police?
Well, investigations haven't really got the kind of results that the Telangana police was expecting, mainly because there was no mobile phone on the body of the 2 who were gunned down on Saturday morning. Number 2, there haven't been any leads of where they actually stayed and for how many days did they stay in Hyderabad. And that is going to be the most critical piece of evidence, because they do not know about the whereabouts of the other 3 semi-terrorists who had also escaped with them from Khandwa jail in September 2013, whether they were also with them in Hyderabad or whether they were also planning to travel with them to Vijayawada. So in that sense, the Telangana police a little nervous at this point in time, because the clues haven't really revealed much. They are really looking at electronic surveillance cameras from where they had boarded the bus on the first night from Hyderabad to go to Vijayawada, whether they were accompanied by anyone else or whether they had tried to activate or meet any member of any sleeper cell while they were in Hyderabad. But yes, at this point in time, police force from different states have come because this gang was involved in different bank robberies in different states of India, like Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, also involved in the Chennai railway station blast in Tamil Nadu. They were suspected. So in that case, since all these police forces have come and they want to actually put themselves together to kind of have a foolproof case against these CV terrorists.
Now we bring you some shocking details from Bellary jail. Now what you see on your screens are the visuals from inside Bellary jail, which show the inmates indulging in acts like gambling and consuming drugs. And this video has now gone viral. The visuals were shot on mobile phone inside the jail in Karnataka just a few months ago. While it is not known how a mobile phone made its way inside the jail, the images nail the lax attitude of the cops who merely looked away as the inmates indulged in unlawful action. In the video footage captured using the mobile phone, a group of inmates are seen playing Andar Bahar, which is the word used for gambling. Another footage also shows a few inmates smoking ganja or marijuana. The jail authorities say that some of the inmates captured in the mobile footage are already out on jail as the footage is over 6 months old.
I'm in regular touch with the jail superintendent of Bellary, and he has already conducted 2 checks in the jail. I have deputed the DIG of Northern Range of Jails from Belgaum to Bellary, and he would be conducting a detailed inquiry into the whole episode. Prima facie, it appears that this incident most probably has happened sometime prior to November last year, because one of the inmates who was there in the clipping, he was released on bail in November last year.
That brings us to the end of this edition of Up South. Thanks for watching. News and updates will continue on Headlines Today.